What are you looking at? Let me guess, actually. You know what? I'm gonna guess. I reckon you're looking at the decidedly empty frame behind me. Did I guess right? No, I didn't guess right. Well, actually, that means you're wrong, because that's what you're meant to be looking at. Now, last episode, we built this cute little area that will soon be a library. I'm going to do the interior with you guys, because I'm excited. Yay! However, this little bridge and this area, which is where the villagers will go, I've not done that yet. So I think I'm going to jump right where I left off last episode and do that. And not just this, but I have prepared, because I'm an organised person, sometimes-ish. Well, not really, but I was in this scenario. And somewhere in my storage system, I have a very discreet place where I've got all of my stuff. Can you guess where my things for this thing are? That's right, they're in here. Oh, I've also not taken the enchanter. That is for the interior, because the room that I've already built will be my enchanting room. So I think now is an excellent time to skip most stuff and go and build that. I am, and I think we're going to start by, actually I'm going to start by showing you what I did. Built a little pagoda, nice little thing, lots of green. There's meant to be another bush there, rude. And then I have in here, now this might look a bit weird, but this is where the villagers are going to live. My librarians are going to live in these little pods, and I'll plonk one in each one. I will have efficiency, unbreaking, protection, mending is going in the middle because he's important, and I probably have another one. I don't know. If I end up having 6 in the end, I will move unbreaking into there because that's also important. And I've done a rainbow glass roof because why not? I just thought it would be nice. Now, if any of this clip seems a bit cut up, that's probably because I've actually cut it up in editing, because my mouse is not being happy with me, and I think the wire's frayed inside, so it keeps turning itself off. And my laptop is really annoying because whenever something disconnects from it, like a mouse, it makes a little noise. It goes ba-da-ba, and the right click on the touchpad on my laptop doesn't work very well, which means that I can't eat particularly easily. Ah, that's the noise there. So yeah, I will be cutting those bits out. Anyway, aside from this, I think we ought to start with lanterns. Fill these bits in with clay and put drip leaf and moss and pretty bits all over it. So I'm thinking for lanterns, we got to have some in the corner. So we'll do one in each of these. It's actually looking pretty good, to be honest. In the middle, I'm going to have my enchanter. And I think I might have my enchanter floating. But okie dokie, that's all alright then. I think I'm gonna rearrange some of these. Okay. Parkour. Ha. Oh, they don't call me a parkour god for nothing. They also don't call me a parkour god, but that's not relevant to the situation. I quite like how messy it looks. I will review once I've put drip leaf and stuff in, because once this has some more green in it, I plan to have like leaves snaking up the walls and stuff. It will look a lot better. And in hindsight, I actually had a gathering session to make sure I had all of the resources I need to do the interior, and I forgot about clay and drip leaf and other such things. So maybe I'll do that this episode, maybe I won't. Now, let's do in here first. Let's get rid of all the nearby-ish torches. Be gone. I actually think a lantern on that rock works really well. We can have one dangling there, and one dangling here, and I think we can have one over there. I want one over here a bit, so we'll put one there. And maybe there? Yeah, that looks alright. I'm pretty happy with that. Now, in here's a difficult one, because it absolutely needs to be well lit, but it's a weird one because it's not actually got a lot of words. It's not got a lot of structure. I think I want to get some wood and make a rim around the bottom of this. I think that might help bring it together a bit. I think that definitely helps to encompass it a bit more. And I don't think I'm gonna do the same thing with the water in there, but down here, I might make a bowl. I don't know. I'm thinking a sort of bowl, if you will. And then within that bowl, I want to do coral and stuff. That is feeling like a later game thing, though. This is not a today Chez build problem, because coral takes a long time to get, and I don't have a elytra yet. But it's episode 12, I think, so soon we will have elytra, provided I don't go to the end and do the same thing I did in the nether and lose everything again. That would not be good. Not good, I tell you. But I am looking forward to that. I've only defeated the Ender Dragon once before by myself in vanilla survival, and even then, like, it wasn't a particularly ceremonious battle. Regardless, I think that this just needs lanterns now, and unfortunately lanterns cost emeralds, and I don't have emeralds at the minute, so I think I'm going to leave off here and come back with some emeralds and some clay, I think, or emeralds that will have turned into lanterns, and some clay. Okie dokie, I've got some bits and some bobs which I can use to do the interior up there. Notice anything different though? That's right, we've got our little tower down here. I honestly don't know how I feel about it. There was a lot of deliberation on this bottom bit here, but I looked up the name. There's a big fancy name for it. I don't know what that name was, but for now it will do. It adds a bit of je ne sais quoi. I also don't know what that is, but it makes me sound far more intelligent than I really am. Anyway, I think we ought to start by just filling in these bits with some clay. So I'm just going to get that done because it's not interesting enough for you guys to watch. Now it's time for the fun bit. So I think we'll start with just a couple of lily pads in each one. Let's can I change? I can change the direction the lily pads are going. Great. I'm just gonna plonk you this way. Hello? Why are you only going that way? Is it something to do with what block they're on? Eh? What the heck? I don't care as long as it's not the same one. And yoink. And then I think I ought to put some drip leaf around. And then finally, for around these bits, I want to do some leaves snaking up the walls a bit. So maybe just like that. Yeah, I'm thinking something like this. And let's not do the same as we've done in the other two, because otherwise that will look a bit naff. Oh, you know what? Let's encroach over here on this territory. Oh, I like that. And we'll just stick one there. I might even put a torch or lantern in there for a bit of drama. You know me, I live for the drama. And then we'll just yoink, yoink, yoink. And yeah, I'll just plonk another one down there. Okie dokie, this is already looking significantly better. And other things for me to do. I think I'm gonna see if I can dangle some bookshelves down there at a later date, because I've only got 3 bookshelves, but we can do a couple just to see what we think it will be looking like. Yeah, that sort of thing. That looks much more library-ish. You know what, I am actually quite liking how this is coming together. We need more lantern spam, I think. And of course I didn't buy any lanterns, did I? Because I'm apparently organised. Here we go, we've got a couple of lanterns to our name now. Let's just... Oh, scary. This is really weird because it's my first time playing with headphones, and the noise of the thunder sort of moved from one headphone to the other, back and forth, and it just felt really weird. But whatever. I think we'll plonk one lantern there, we'll plonk another one up here. Oh, where else do we think we might like a lantern? These areas are already pretty lit up. Oh, that's something I want. I want a spore blossom somewhere up here. And up there is a full block, I believe, that I can place one on. So let's just hop on up. How lovely. You know what? I'm sleeping through this thunderstorm. The cozy vibes are kind of there, but then I've got to go through editing and lower the sound or something, and that's just more effort than I can care to put in. Okie doke, so we've got some spore blossoms around here. Let's whack another one up here. And then I think there's nothing wrong with having one there. I might actually get rid of the one up there, to be honest. I'm not entirely sure I need it. Because you can't see the petals, so it does look a bit stupid. But yeah, you know, it just adds quite a nice pop of colour, really. Let's stick one up here too. And then my main plan was that these two bits here, I would actually go and take them and put them on a sort of pedestal. So I do have some of you. I'm thinking if I get this, and it's nothing fancy schmancy, just literally 2 blocks up, and then we've got an anvil, we've got a grindstone, and I'll think of something else to put on these two. I could actually in the future again, because I'm forward thinking now. I could actually move those to somewhere else and have, you know, the 4 main things that you want on these. So I'm thinking the dragon egg on one of them. Maybe what represents an ocean monument, do you think? Normally I'd say Elder Guardian Head, but I don't have that mod installed. And a sponge doesn't really cut it as entertaining as it would be. Who knows, I might do that, probably won't do that thinking about it. It's quite a lot of difficulty. Plus, it means I have an excuse to build a cool end-themed build. Anyway, I think in here, for the time being, might not be done, but it is now presentable. Like, I could happily bring people in here, and there would be at least some oohs, ahs, or no one walking in and saying, Ches, this looks naff. Anyway, now we've got in here, which looks equally dingy at the minute. So the first thing we're going to do is, of course, spam lanterns. I'm going to get the villagers in off screen because I already know that it's going to be a pain in the backside. Now, where can I put lanterns? In here. Maybe just on the corners here. I don't actually have enough to do any on all of the corners, but I could nick one from up there. That sounds alright. Honestly, I think it might have actually just needed lanterns to look better. I think that might actually be it. This already looks 10 times better. I think although we don't need it, I'm gonna do it anyway. Just, you know, add a couple of leaves, some bushes, just to make it look a little bit nicer. It already looks nice, but just a bit nicer. And yeah, go on. I'll treat myself. I'll put one down there too. It's gone in a loop now. That's fine. It can go in a loop if it likes to. You know what? I've just fallen down, but I've been hit with a bit of a rude much. Anyway, I've just fallen down, but I've been hit with a little bit of a brainwave. I could actually have some of these bushes dangling down a bit. I know I've got rid of most of the water, mainly because building that thing with all the water flowing everywhere was such a pain, because every time you break your scaffolding, all the water connects and my scaffolding bits end up over there or something. Honestly, it drove me up the wall. Yeah, that looks quite nice actually. Just a little bit of green. I'm not actually sure how I'm going to connect this to the main bit of the base. It's currently very standalone. It's a little bit like the kooky old witch's hut, but the only feasible way I can think of connecting it. Another one. Bloody Nora, can't I catch a break? I've got no blooming food either. Honestly, these creepers, they're so blooming dramatic. Yeah, I'm not really sure how I'm gonna connect this up. It's a work in progress. I think what I'm gonna have to do is drape this bit down to another building somewhere and then loop it across. I might actually do a bit of terraforming and just erect a massive pillar up about here where I can put I want to say halfway house, but that's not the right word because that means something different. Whatever, doesn't really matter, you get the idea. Big tall pillar, house there. It's like a service station, but for the Minecraft player on the way to the library. Anyway, I now need to go and edit all of this stuff, and I'm not sure I'm going to have any more time to film anything else, and I don't have many ideas of what else to film in this episode that I can feasibly fit in. So I think that is going to have to be, quite sadly, the end of the episode. I am going to get some more bookshelves, maybe, if I remember, and dangle these bits down. And I'm going to very slowly bring the villagers into here with probably great pain. And then once that's all done, I think this library is more or less finished. But for the time being, I have been Chesburger9896. I hope you've enjoyed everything with our rainbow roofs and our many bushes and our lovely bits of green. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely evening, day or night. Oh, and also I got netherite boots. Are you proud of me? They've got a feather falling. Okay, bye!